to Barely Educated, episode 122. Yeah. It's
Yes.
the Bears Vikings live stream, the post game reaction to what was a very quintessential, typical Bears loss on the lakefront. They're just a dreadfully bad football team. Don't let Thursday's game against the Commanders last week fool you. Chris, how are you?
Yeah, little disappointed, I guess. I thought the Bears had found what they needed to do. The last two offensive game plans looked much better, and then today looked like weeks 1 and 2 again.
In three.
And well, three. I'm going to give a little credit to the Chiefs' defense than one
Yeah,
and
they
two.
they look really good. Better than I thought they'd be.
So, so why what happened? I guess with the off. I mean, Fields was getting pressured right out of the gate, and I think that knocked him into his bad habits. It threw his timing off, which is definitely a couple steps back. And that happens to any quarterback to some point, where a constant pass rush is going to knock you off your game. But man, it just looked like nothing had changed week 1 and 2 offensively. They couldn't block. No one could block. I mean, Wright looked great last week, and I don't just stop the blitzes. Maybe that's all it comes down to. Because I'm trying to figure out how can they stop Washington last week, who's got a better front four than the Vikings, and they couldn't stop a runny nose today. It seemed like. So help me out with that.
Well,
Please.
I'm going to start with Fields, even though I don't think he was the biggest problem. But I think it is a huge problem. I'm sorry, Chris. We're 30 starts in. You can't just be absolutely terrible just because there's a pass rush. He's not learning. He still cannot complete a pass against a zone because he won't throw the ball against a zone. That's what they do. They blitz and they run zone, which is weird. It's not the normal way you blitz, but it's what the Vikings do. It's well known that's what they do. And he still can't complete a pass against it, and Bagent can, and that's driving me nuts. And I'm not saying Bagent's better, but Justin Fields got to play man defense the last 2 weeks, and he kills man defense. He found his Matt Patricia's, right? And he looks great against man, and he looks awful against zone. And we're 30 starts in, and the ball too long thing is still a thing. I mean, this was a real bad game for the Fields is going to get it put all together scenario because it was once again dreadful. And again, that floor cannot be this low. We cannot play a football half and have 50 total yards. I know he got hurt. That stinks. I feel bad for him. I know he's trying. I know he's working. It's nothing against him personally, but 30 games in, some of this has to improve. And when it does look better, it's because it's against the things he's already good at. Right, like I don't question his arm talent. I question his seeing the field and reacting quick enough, and it was all a problem again today. But the bigger problem by far is with 10 days to prepare, the coaches went back to their terrible game plan that they just absolutely adore that we saw the first couple weeks and looked like they had no idea that the Vikings were going to blitz a lot from all over the place. I don't think the line played as bad as you think. Wright got beat a couple times. I didn't notice anyone else getting just totally pantsed. What I noticed is no one knowing who to block.
That's what I'm saying.
Right?
It was,
from the one-on-one blocking, they were fine, but it looked like assignment-wise they were confused. And I'm going to say that's mostly coaching.
Oh, for sure.
And with extra time, you get extra bad results. That is pathetic coaching. The second they matter, the Bears are worse. They get the bounce right of the short Thursday game, and look good when it's backyard football fields to more, right? And then right, and then you get back to 10 days in time to prep, and they're bad. How is that not the coaching more than the QB? Even though I think the QB was dreadful today. Again, the hits were there. He's taking too many hits. My problem is,
took a lot of hits.
As much as I've loved him over the years, it's just not sustainable, and now he's hurt, right? Like that's the problem. Like all the hits and all the running instead of getting the ball out. It's like this is not going to work long term, barring a major improvement. But at minimum, we might list Fields as a question mark with increasing skepticism. I am still completely out on the coaches, though Matt Eberflus called a pretty solid game. He also got to play the team without its best weapon. The coaches as a whole are still terrible. And if you're trying to have real contending aspirations in the division, it would be nice, not to his former student Tim pointed out,
Shut up, Tim.
not lose every game against the division in your tenure. We're going to take the North and never give it back. Let's start with winning a game in the North. I mean, give me a break. Stop pandering to stupid fans and get some real people in charge who know what they're doing, because this regime sucks. And it's time to quit having such low standards.
In defense of Eberflus, it was Poles that.
I know, and I'm saying maybe they both think, but Eberflus definitely does. As far as the overall staff, right? We talked about the position coaches not being experienced. Like some of that confusion about the blitz probably is at a granular level with the position coaches. But I'm not backing down from having a higher standard than this.
Yeah.
These guys aren't winning the Super Bowl. This is painfully obvious. So you might as well can them at the end of the year. I get it. You don't want to can them midseason because there's nothing to gain. I understand. I could see that either way. But this coaching staff cannot be back next year.
Oh, it won't be. No way.
And so it's a good loss for that. It's a great loss for the tank crowd. A totally pointless win for a terrible Vikings team. Congratulations, you just dropped 5 spots in the draft or whatever, and you can have the 4th quarterback of your choice after Cousins walks. I mean, they have less hope for the future than the Bears do. Yeah.
No. Sorry.
You'll be all right. He's having a hard day, everyone. He's trying. So as far as outcomes go, losing is fine. Like, this team has no direction. They need all the help they can get at the top of the draft, and they need it to be painfully clear that they need to fire everyone. So bring on the losses. Losses get us closer to a Super Bowl now that we're off the schneid. Isn't that crazy?
At this point, that's true. Yeah. Bernstein, way to point that out. According to Tankathon, it is true. I was just, doing the whole score listener meme. But according to Tankathon.com, the Bears are back to having the 1st and 2nd pick after Carolina lost again and the Bears lost again. So maybe that's going to be your new quarterback and your next wide receiver.
I almost led the pod joking about how we were here to cover the Dolphins-Panthers game. I've run that well enough.
Yeah.
Shugo has a question here. Did Fields get ruled out once? Any movement of the pocket? I know Bajent got some. I don't think there were any designed rollouts. There were some designed runs. There were some, the center still can't snap the ball runs from Fields. I didn't see any roll the pocket, move the pocket, let him roll out, and hit somebody downfield, which he's good at. It was just back to the game plan that he can't execute, right?
So no
matter what else you want to say, that's the coaching flaw of all. And not being ready for the blitz, which to me, that's coaching.
Is that like, okay, you're good at this, now we got to get you good at this, and we're going to make you do it in the game only? Like, we're only going to focus on this so you can improve on that? I mean, that's bad coaching too, right there.
I haven't a clue what to do. They're too dumb to be able to figure it out, right? Like, the plan is they're so bad at whatever this particular plan is. It's basically the Green Bay game, right? That's what it looked like. And then if they're saying, well, this is how you attack the Vikings defense, then I'd say, okay, well, then how come you didn't do anything about their blitzing? See what I mean? So, like, either way, they had an incomplete game plan. It's kind of Tim's point, right, where he says the Vikings attack the line schematically, not just on talent. Yeah, exactly. The talent actually won enough blocks. Wright got beat a couple times by Hunter, who's, like, really good. And then they just had guys running free because nobody picked them up. Or they had the play that was the big turnover, right, where Hunter's running free where Fields threw the interception, and then he's blocked by Evans. That's not the way that should go. The back should always be popping out, right? If wherever Hunter is, that the right tackle should just pick him up. If it's like, no, our assignments are based on what gap they're playing. No, they need to be based on talent. You need Hunter blocked by a lineman. He should be smart enough to adjust that. And I wondered how much of it was Fields not being able to adjust the line calls or the center not doing it. Like, it's not always just the coach, but you can always go back to the coaching because he's supposed to be preparing the team. Or they.
Yeah, and I mean,
they weren't prepared to play today.
No, and
not on offense.
It looked like in the past few games, it looked like Fields had been making good at the line adjustments. It was after the snap for the.
It just really feels like the Fields roller coaster comes down to holding the ball way too long, mostly with bad results, occasionally with brilliant ones, and seeing what the defense is doing half of the time, if that, 40%, whatever, and carving it up, and being very much confused and playing not confidently, and he's like doing the hitch thing. You know what I mean? Like that was this game as Green Bay.
Yeah,
It was ACL,
all
their
came
defense.
back.
And this was not a good defense. We talked about that Friday. That's why we picked the Bears, because we thought the Vikings D was
Right.
bad, and it is bad. And they didn't do much to inspire confidence without Jefferson on the other side of the ball. But the Bears offense is capable of derailing any given game.
Yeah, the Vikings offense only scored 12 points, right? So
Yeah, and the defense played its best game. It didn't matter.
they did.
Shout out to the linebackers
and it
finally showing up, though. Nice to see you guys.
and it did show just how much, or when we knew this, but just how important Justin Jefferson is to that offense.
That's again why it's funny that the Vikings win a meaningless game. Their season's toast. They're not surviving him being out for any length of time. He's on IR, so yeah, you can beat the Bears, but so can everyone else.
Yeah. Ooh, congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to be like we're a pendulum overreacting too, but like the simple truth is that this looks a lot more like you got lucky with the short week weirdness last week, and then Denver D being really, really, really bad than it does that they figured anything out. And you go right back to looking awful against a blitz heavy, zone heavy team.
Yep. And that goes back to what I said at the beginning. It's like weeks 4 and 5 just didn't happen. Didn't happen. It's back to the same exact issue.
Like the coaches learned nothing from it. As frustrated as I am with the whole Fields roller coaster, I'm even rocking the jersey.
I know.
Today. You know, it's like, and I got the teal underneath, so I look like a Dolphins fan, which is actually pretty accurate. Panthers today.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know how you watch that game and you don't scratch your head, be completely baffled at the offensive game plan, and it wasn't aggressive at all. The D was though.
Yeah.
It's like the head coach has nothing to do with the offense. The way they're in the opposite tracks, there aggression wise.
Hard to have any complaints against the defense. So, I mean, the one touchdown drive they gave up. No, they gave up 2 touchdowns. They missed an extra point. No, 1 touchdown drive. They gave up
at
the
end
of half,
and then they had a D touchdown
after the Fields pick. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only drive that I think you could say they didn't do well was that end of the first half after the Fields pick.
I mean, look at these numbers. This is a football game you should win if you're any kind of complete team. First downs, Minnesota 12, Bears 18. Time of possession, Minnesota short of 25 minutes, Bears just over 35. Third down efficiency, Minnesota 2 of 13. That's the best the Bears have done on third down defense in 5 years.
Really good.
Bears 6 of 14. Total yards, Bears 275, Minnesota 220. You held the other team to 220 total yards. I'm not going to sit here and slam the D coach or his defense.
I'm saying.
I'm a little confused as to what the head coach is doing with the offense, and I'm definitely confused at the coordinator today. And I'm definitely confused by the QB.
He's definitely hands off the
right?
The offense, right? He doesn't do anything with the offense. He doesn't care about the offense.
Sorry, Buddy Brian. Oh my gosh, you mad lad. Buddy Brian just gave us a picture in the group chat that you need to go look at.
All right, I'll go look at it real quick. I gotta mention too the hey, all right. Buddy Brian got us an HD.
Oh my gosh, I should have shaved. No.
I would have lost pounds, but here we are. I gotta read Buddy Brian's tweet that just had me on the floor.
Where was that?
Yeah, listeners, you gotta hear this. Oh, where did it go?
Let's see.
I told him. I said I'm reading this on the pod. What was it?
You did say that.
Oh yeah. So Buddy Brian said Bears are about to be 0-5 this year in games where no Bears legend just away. Buddy Brian, that's the tweet or the text of the year.
We need that extra motivational
very
boost. How about the
who can go next? Oh, Steve. Never mind.
We had No, I'm not having that conversation. That's all you. Look, there's 2 conversations I'm not having. Which Bears legend needs to die next, and should they draft Caleb Williams? I'm not ready for any of that.
We gotta get the phone lines up for the discussion.
No, we don't.
Bears legend. Okay. Right.
If a Bob calls in, this is your fault.
Oh, my friend Bob is not doing well
now.
My friend Bob in Chicago is not doing well today. He's having a rough one. So, yeah. Hey, anything you want to say about the what's going to be said about Tyson Bagent this week? that
I'll
you
get there in
think
a minute. I just
is-
want to reiterate.
Okay,
They're
all right.
0-11 under Matt Eberflus against the division, and they're on a 10-game home losing streak.
Uh-huh.
But they're going to take the North and never give it back, according to the GM.
It sounded good, didn't it? When he said it?
Pandering to the stupid. Take the North and
Who has
never
a
give it
problem with
back.
that?
Just don't even say that. Just say you're going to put together a competent, competitive football team, and you're going to prioritize winning.
Remember in Lovey when he got the said first thing we're gonna do?
Like
beat the
Green
Packers.
Bay, get off the bus, run the
But he did, to
beat
his credit.
Bay Packers, yeah. I don't know,
He
man.
did.
I don't see how you come out of this thinking much is changed for the season and actually concluding, hey, long term, it's probably a good loss. It's one of those losses I'm going to look back at and be like, glad we lost that game. You watch.
Mm.
You get to April and you're sitting there picking first and second or first and third, and you've fired everybody. You're going to be glad you lost this game. And so am I.
Mm-hmm.
And you heard it here first.
Former-
You can be mad at me right now if you want. This is a game that does not
I'm not mad.
does not help you contend. It doesn't. You
I'm in-
got your win last week. It didn't mean anything. It's a
I'm
nonsense.
in blow it out right now. You can get away with anything right now with me. I'm in blow it out. I like here former student Tim with his Eberflus impression here. We didn't score enough, right? They scored more than us, right? We need to do more hits, right? Nice job,
Right.
Tim.
Yeah, that's
Right?
what he's gonna say.
Tim,
They didn't
good job,
execute.
right?
You left out there didn't execute, or maybe you said it
Didn't
somewhere
execute,
else.
right?
Well, Shugi said
Right?
it.
Need to
Shugo,
execute.
sorry,
Yeah, I
Shugo.
said. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You
we're-
ready for the player
Sorry,
execution comments from Getsy? Yeah, I'm ready. It's like a warm glove, right? The Bears' offense being
Yeah.
bad, or one side of the ball just being unspeakably bad and derailing the game, right? After the defense did it against the Broncos, it's like it was the offense's turn.
Yep.
So you asked about
Hugo,
Bajan. I want to do Bajan and then a league-wide thing, and then get out of here because I don't want to devote too much more of my day to this game.
We
Bajan
finally
looks
got
like
going at a decent time.
Bajan looks like a backup that hasn't played any, and the fumble for 7, and then the big horrible throw to seal the game. I mean, those are bad plays, and the people are going to go crazy for him getting the ball out, and we were joking about that in our group text. You know, I guess what I would like to do is tell Fields, throw the ball as quickly as he does, but with your arm strength.
Yeah.
That's probably a touchdown to Moore.
Yep.
He had a step on him. That's why he couldn't get back for the interception. He was too open for the throw.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the irony.
Yeah, but like Fields is back there rethinking and second guessing, and Bajan's like, YOLO! You know, it's just chucking it.
Yeah. YOLO Bajan.
TB17, baby, we're gonna be good. Just give this bagel guy time.
This is how our Tom Brady story starts, my friends.
Oh, that was a great tweet. I had to laugh at that.
Did former student Tim was listening to the Vikings radio? He said they were calling him Dagent. Like, that's awesome. Yeah, for those of you, Jeff Janiak and Tom Thayer, they just do not do a good broadcast. You know, maybe like 20 years ago, but now anyway, I don't need to get into that. But yeah.
So I want to introduce this as a topic for Friday.
Okay.
Last thing I have. Look at the league-wide scores today. 24-16. That happened in two different games. Pretty gross. 19-13. That's the beloved. 17-13. 19-17. The mighty Niners have lost after a missed field goal, apparently.
Whoa.
Santos to the Niners for a third rounder. Who says no? 20-13. Nice. And then finally, 2 games with real points, 37-20, 42-21. Most of the league in this early window played really ugly games from an offensive standpoint. And we always talk about how it's an offensive league and a passing league and all the rules favor the offense. And I think it's worth considering what's going on here. Usually by now, middle of October, the offenses start to look better again until, you know, late in the year and teams start tanking. And like, this is when it's supposed to be a little bit more high flying. You know, the defense is always a head thing the first couple weeks.
Yeah, every year. Yeah,
even like teams like the Chiefs offense still looks really bad compared to what we're used to seeing. The Bengals are on a 3-game win streak, and Burrow looks a little healthier, but they're still not cruising. The Dolphins offense is cruising. You know, but like most of the league is really kind of struggling to score, and I wonder why. One thing I think you might have a situation where there's too many awesome athletes playing edge now. and now we're starting to see that impact at the highest level
Interesting.
because there's like so many guys flying off the corner every game. And see how teams weren't paying that second tier edge rushers like Yannick Ngakoue getting signed way late. You pay the top tier, and then you figure I can find just about anybody at this point. Isn't that crazy? I'm wondering what the deal is. I wonder if it's the pass rushes, if there's something just flukish and it'll regress back to normal. But right now, the defenses are still ahead of the offenses, and we thought a lot of good young QBs, but most of them aren't playing as well. Stroud is, of course.
Yeah, Stroud, he threw his first pick, but got the win today. Another reason picks are over.
By the way, a great example of what can happen if you get some good coaches in and get the QB position right. I'm not saying that doesn't mean we don't have the QB, but we got to get him right if he is the QB moving forward. And we definitely don't have the coaches. But look what that guy and his staff are doing down there. 3-3. Everybody thought they'd be handing Arizona a top 5 pick, and they're contending for the division.
Yep.
Year 1.
Good for him. Yeah, and good for him. Good for Stroud. I wish it was our Ohio State QB that.
Oh, he said it, folks. Oh my gosh, guys, keep Chris in your prayers if you're religious. Thoughts and prayers to the meatball composer over the QB. He's down enough that he's trading for Stroud.
No, I didn't say that. I'm happy
you wished he was our Ohio State QB.
No, I wish our Ohio State QB was doing that.
Never mind. Okay, nobody pray for Chris.
No, don't need it. Don't need it. That's right.
And we might have a coach that's an outlier on the defensive head coaches thing in the recent hires. Who finally hired another good one from that side of the ball, maybe?
Yeah. It's definitely the outlier. Yeah, for sure. I hope they don't go that route, even though it can work. Did you see there was talk about a poll about who do you want the next head coach to be, the next offensive young bright mind, or Bill Belichick if he's available?
Last time I saw it, it was like the bright mind by like 80-20 or something.
Yeah, well, that's the right way to go because
for sure.
Or maybe Belichick's issues now are on the GM side and not the coach side, but it's hard to separate those two. Wow, the Browns beat the 49ers.
That's what I'm saying. We got to trade him a kicker.
Wow.
They missed the field goal right? I think
did they not have Robbie Gould anymore? Is he not?
I don't know. I'm checking the box score. Where's the kicker? No, it's Moody, who was 1 for 3.
Oh.
He was 9 for 9 coming in, though.
They got to throw more to friend of the show, George Kittle,
Friend of the pod. We need to get him on here.
That would be amazing.
That would. All right. Well, that's all I got. Guess go Bears. I don't even know anymore. Whatever, Bears.
How many more of these we got? 10, 11
I don't know. More. I don't know if I can commit to a post game for more games that dreadfully.
Oh, stop!
What's there to say?
Need it. People need it.
They need the meatball pontificator.
Look at the tens of listeners demand our post game thoughts.
Tim says, "Go Rangers." That's right. On behalf of all of America, beat the Astros.
Well, I guess so. Yeah. If I have to pick one of those two,
say Shugo, Bears. I'm exhausted.
Yeah, it is exhausting. It is. Here we thought they finally had turned a corner and gotten things right, and maybe Getsy wasn't blowing smoke when he said we're on the verge of something special happening, and then this wasn't even like a couple steps back. Like I could handle that. I could handle if they weren't as good as the last 2 weeks. If there was, just a little bit of regression from that. But this was full on back to week 1. What the heck are they doing stuff? That's what's so exhausting.
Stubborn.
Ugh.
Yeah, well, the other lesson is we're all idiots.
Well, right? Yeah, there's that.
Yeah, well, maybe I should put the graduate analytical education to use more. I try, and then I get suckered in when they score 40 and win a game.
But here's the thing: we don't love our sports teams because it's rational,
Bears head coach says X-rays on Fields' wrist, hand, whatever, were negative. MRI tomorrow.
There was no wrist?
X-rays are negative.
Okay, so nothing's broken, but
Greg Bragg says, someone tell me what this means. I love it.
This game plan came after a mini bye. Now I'm angry again.
Yes, as soon as
Yes,
coaching matters, they're
exactly.
worse. I'm telling you, the backyard
Yeah.
football dead cat bounce Thursday. They didn't get the chance to implement one of their dumb game plans. They look even worse than they did before the Thursday win this game lost, because it's really easy to look at the Thursday win as the fluke, and then once they get time to coach, they look terrible.
You can't argue with that, can you? That's what we saw.
We got the results have to change for you to be able to argue it, right?
Yep. That is what we saw.
Gosh, that is Brock Purdy's first loss in the NFL.
Oh my gosh, I thought he couldn't lose.
I thought he was a robot.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they scored what, 42 on Dallas last week, so they were due for a little bit of regression, right?
I got one more thing. I'm sorry. I keep saying that.
No, keep going.
Listen
carefully.
Me.
This is cathartic.
Cousin Nick.
Whoa. There's a new cousin.
You got to do it, though. There you go. He's a listener.
Cousin Nick.
He wants to know when we're allowed to start screaming for Peterman, since the backup is now Peterman. I told him that Bajan had to start a game before we were allowed to do that.
Yeah, that's true. You can't hate Bajan until he starts. Are we going to get the Caleb Haney thing with Bajan? Because remember, Caleb Haney came in the NFC title game and was not good. He gave up the game-sealing pick six, and then the final nail in the coffin interception on the last drive. And but people that was like, maybe Caleb Haney's the future, my friend. So today we see Bajan. Yeah, they had that one good drive. That Foreman was really.
Yeah, Foreman should not be inactive. No, seriously, why do they think this guy should be inactive over Travis Homer? Third down back stuff?
Yep.
Dude, he's good at the part of running back supposed to be doing, and he was okay blocking. I think it was Evans who kept whiffing on the blocks. But they're also, again, you can't ask Evans to block some of the people you're asking him to block.
Yeah.
So,
so then
no
Bajan,
problem there.
Bajan has that fumble that's returned for a touchdown, so that's not really all on him because the line was not good on the blitzes. Anyway, but that interception at the end, that should show you that is not an NFL starting arm, right?
Yeah, that thing died in the worst possible way.
A lot of people said, "Oh,
that's why people are gonna like it."
Tipped at the line. It's like, I didn't see.
Oh, maybe I don't remember seeing that. I guess we'll see replays in all 22. Also, to be fair to Fields, we need the all 22 to see if the open issue is a problem again, or if it's what I said about zones. But I suspect there's going to be plenty of plays that he just doesn't pull the trigger on because they got him rattled, and then he does his whole not confident, doesn't throw it thing, and I think that's probably a fatal flaw for him as the starter in Chicago. But we still have several games to see.
Shugo with the quote of the day. Look at that. Bajan both kept them in the game and turned over. Pretty Chicago QB.
Yeah, gave us just a little hope just to rip it right back out. That's right.
That's brilliant. That is brilliant.
That is. This guy's already the perfect Chicago QB. Bob,
true.
Somewhere.
Bob in Port, probably.
All right, you've got to give us a preview of the Cowboys before we get out of here.
I'm not giving you no preview of the Cowboys. Where did this? For those of you who aren't watching the stream or know our regular discussions, former student Tim loves to razz me about the Cowboys. I guess because
because you irrationally hate
for a while,
and it's funny. The Cowboys Chargers is like the all talent underachieving bowl, right? Like
everything I've said about Dak for years.
You're actually looking great.
Others are finally saying yes, exactly.
Wow,
I'm just ahead of the curve. That's the way it's always been. Cowboys gonna lose. There's my preview. Boo-hoo! I'm so sad.
Go Khalil Mack. That's my preview of that game.
Yes, go Khalil Mack. That's right. Yeah.
Good thing we traded him for Jaquan Brisker and some sixth rounder that we've already probably.
Yeah, you know what? And another thing.
I did it. I brought up something else that we're gonna break down now.
You did.
Go ahead. I'm agree with you.
Jaquan Brisker's bad.
Yeah, shut up and play better, man. That's like I don't care if he hears this. Like you don't ever make enough plays to run your mouth as much as you do.
And every time I see him, he's like 2 yards away from a guy who just made a play. You know, like
He had
like
one
whoop,
nice
whoop, whoop.
tackle today, and you would have thought he had the game-clinching interception with the celebration. Calm
Yeah,
down and play better. That's all.
yeah.
That guy's not having a good year. Oh yeah, Eddie Jackson hurt his foot again.
Oh my gosh, I
Eddie
missed that.
Jackson's like that foot getting hurt again from retiring. I mean, this can't keep happening. Like this is actually getting to be chronic and kind of scary.
And
So
that's what
I hope
knocked him
he's
out
okay.
last
But
year, right?
golly, yeah, it's been a problem before.
Yeah.
I'm kidding
Oh,
about
the
Mac and the
believer.
trade. I know it was from the cap and all that, but still, Brisker's. Yeah, when he hears this, he's
Yeah.
gonna be furious.
When
That's
Jaquan
right, buddy
Brisker hears
Brian.
our show,
He goes,
yeah.
he's gonna be so mad when he hears it. I know, I was stupid that I said that. Okay, but still, I think
Great.
he needs
He
to
may never come on the
actually.
show again.
That maybe that's who Shugo is. He may never come on the show again.
He's missing his post game locker room meetings to listen to our show under a
Well, if you
pseudonym.
do
I
hear
like
this,
it.
please tell George Kittle will be much kinder to him because we love him. We love how he hates Dallas.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And
I
we
can't
love how he
believe
loves the Bears.
Brisker. You should have something better to be doing right now, for sure. Yeah, I don't
Oh,
know, man. I don't know. It's like the trade for the first is like one of the all-time heists in the league's history, potentially.
sure, look at it.
The rest of the Ryan Poles tenure ain't looking so hot, in all honesty. Got a lot of picks not playing well, and one or two that are,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of free agent signings that don't look great.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever the coach
Yep.
is. Yeah. All right, take us out of
Yeah.
here.
All right. Thanks everyone for tuning in, listening, watching. We will do a preview this later this week for the Raiders game when the Raiders come to town. Another game that last week I thought, oh yeah, the Bears got that one, but then they're probably gonna, yeah. And we don't know if Field will be back by then. Is Bajent gonna get his first NFL start? This could be an entertaining week from those perspectives, I guess.
Chaos
But
reigning supreme, right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So find us on Twitter at @barely_educated. That's also our handle on Threads. If you're one of those people that's going to make the jump to Threads anytime soon, and shoot us barelyeducatedpod@gmail.com. Join our honor roll on our website. It will send you a T-shirt. buymeacoffee.com/barely_educated. I should have been wearing one for the camera, but oh well. All right, we'll talk to you all next time. Thanks again. Bear down.